Oraz is not a good remake. It's lacking in stuff found in the original. It's made unnecessary changes and some stuff left unfinished. Yeah, you know, this is definitely accurate. I think Oraz is actually a shit remake. If only for the fact that they excluded the Battle Frontier. The Battle Frontier not being in the game was the biggest disappointment of like all of my Pokemon life. And then also, it's just because I don't like the overworld style of Gen 6, and also the like way that the 3D sprites are handled, the coloring and everything, I think it looks really bad. So that's why I also kind of stay away from Oraz. I do think they handled a lot of things well. They add a lot of like quality of life stuff, but then also making the game incredibly easy by handing the player a free like Mega Latios and stuff like that also didn't really help with Oraz being a good thing. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and agree with this one. Although I don't think it's too unpopular of an opinion.
I play Pokemon for its simple but deep combat system. The identity of my channel is built around getting the most out of that specific single-player experience, and Emerald has the best boss fight design of any Pokemon game. Within a less cynical part of my brain, I always knew that this was true. But after working on this video, I finally know and can confidently explain why. Emerald is my favorite Pokemon game of all time.
Hey everyone, Fratferno here. I hope you enjoy this little bit of my camera being on for once, and hope you enjoyed that little clarification from Peachal. Cause this playthrough, or at least this highlight reel video series, is going to be based on his tier list, cause he had S tier Pokemon, and most of which I haven't really used. Although I did use Heracross in the first playthrough I did of Omega Ruby on this channel, and I used Golduck in Sapphire way back when. I could include it again, but like then again, you might know there are already two water types, so it would be a bit much, and also I'm not using Psych Up strats, as I will show later. I'm not using any moves that will increase stats because I don't feel like that's fair, but I'll get to that later. So the thing about Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire is that I like them more than Emerald. Emerald has its strong points, you got the teams of the gym leaders that are a little bit bigger, you got a Numel there, I think, Norman has a Spinda, Winona has an extra Swablu, which is, it's kind of a throwaway Pokemon anyway. And then most importantly, the Tate and Liza fight have like two more Pokemon, so they're actually a proper seventh gym leader. But whatever. You give and you take. So there's that. Anyway, I just want to show you now my spreadsheets of my past and then my future playthrough of or highlight reel, whatever, of Pokemon games that I did and will do on my channel. So here's Violet. I didn't really get into detail about this, but I did list like the weaknesses I kind of went for when my first playthrough, where I had like Sprigatito for Katie with her like level 14 Teddy Ursa, for example. So there's that. And then I didn't really play into the strengths part of it, but there it is, if you want to do that kind of thing. And then these, I don't know if I used all these. I don't really remember. It's been a couple years since I really played Violet for this channel. I did do like a couple of half playthroughs on my own, but the thing with Violet is that it has these evolutions that are really tough to do, like those Let's Go, you walk around with them. It doesn't seem to work from what I've seen. And then there's the team I ended up with, so that's pretty cool in my second or third playthrough. And then here is Omega Ruby, the second, not playthrough, but second time I went through it on my channel, the fan favorites run. So these are like how I figured out, what are the favorites, And the ones that say delay, I delayed until the Pokemon League, partly because, for example, Salamence is not available until that point in the game, and my Cargo doesn't learn Shell Smash until late in the game, and it doesn't even evolve until pretty late into the game anyway. And anyway, Lairon is my favorite, in case you didn't know. I know that Jaden Animation's probably favorite is Aggron, but I claimed Aron Lairon, so too bad. She gets saddled with Blaziken, and then I set M&J TV with cast form. I could have maybe gone with Subtile, but then the second gym would be too difficult for me to work out, I think. So I think you know what, I did my best. I have no regrets. So that's that, and I have my level caps for this game, and I have my rules, those standard hardcore rules that you might find in like a Flygon HG video or something, or other channels I'm subscribed to. I'm like subscribed to like 3 or 4 that do these runs, like only one type and hardcore and all that Nuzlocke rules. Although I don't like Nuzlocke rules. I don't like having to get rid of a Pokemon if they get knocked out, because then you're vulnerable to critical hits, even in the newer games. And I don't like how getting only the first Pokemon you get find in an area, because then you can't really tailor your run, and I like tailoring my run. I like picking and choosing, having a theme, only one type, the favorites, and then I'm gonna do those S tier Pokemon that are in P-Chow's list. So although I will have the rule no stat boosting moves until League. I don't know if you can see it. There you go. Because I feel like they're unfair. I feel like, for example, you can use a charm or just do a wish, and then switch into to a Lanoon from the Nilomise, and then you use Belly Drum and return, and then you win the game. Win the battle against Wallace, assuming you don't get confused, but you can have a person berry. I don't feel like I don't think that's fun. I mean, yeah, sure, you're skirting around the rule, like you're not getting knocked out, but where's the fun in that? I mean, there's some fun, but it's not the kind of fun I really would appreciate. So instead, no stat boosting moves, no Belly Drum, no bulk up, no psych up, no curse, none of that. So it's going to be a serious challenge with serious Pokemon, with a serious team of serious people like Ego Raptor. So yeah, I'm naming, because I didn't really know what else to name them after. I just named these after channels I've subscribed to or have been subscribed to. Or with these two, I don't know if Ego Raptor, yes. Lottie, I don't know, but I used to like them, but they don't upload much lately. So they're just going to go for the A tier Pokemon that are just going to be gotten rid of once I get a full team. The rest of these S tiers. I hope you don't mind if my camera is like tilted, like reversed, whatever. Anyway, I'm gonna probably need a Ralts. I'm probably gonna need Makuhita, respectively for Roxanne and then for Watson, because those rock types, those steel types, they can be a handful. A bit much for a poor Zigzagoon, at that level to handle. Anyway, speaking of which, Zigzagoon Lanoon is named Route 101 for Route 1 Gaming. Route 1 Gaming is actually a friend of mine in person, and he does playthroughs of games, including a Pokemon game every now and then. So yeah, and he introduces himself every now and then, and he's very meticulous in the game. So if you like that, check out his channel. Then there's Susie Loom, who's a stand-up comedian, but her channel is generally commentaries over other stand-up shows, over like in a cartoon or two, like that Amazing Digital Circus, over some self-help content, I guess, or at least relationship-related content. So I'm naming her Susie Loomis. Loomis is an interesting one. You know, it learns some really useful non-attacking moves: Charm, Wish, Encore. In the remakes, I don't know if I mentioned, but in the remakes, a lot of Pokemon get new moves, you know, like Bug Buzz and Leaf Blade or Dark Pulse, that are many of which were introduced later on, or the developers didn't think to include them in Gen 3. I don't know why, but you know what? They got in there in the remakes. So yeah, we got Bug Buzz going on in case I want to deal with some psychic types. And Lamisa is, she's kind of like a cheerleader, you know, and I think that kind of fits Susie's vibe. You know, she has a she has a great sense of humor. I'll tell you that much. she just laughs like a ha 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 ha, like a very by the books kind of laugh, and that's kind of I think that's charming. Anyway, there's Gyarados for Lazy Mat Man. The name idea is like Gyat damn, as in like wow, as in like the kind of the reaction that Lazy Mat Man has when he's playing a Binding of Isaac Rebirth game, and he finds like a Brimstone or Polyphemus or something, or Tammy's head, you know, something that makes Isaac really powerful, and then he just shouts, and it gets me every time. So there's that, and another one of those things, like I mentioned with the new movesets, it learns Aqua Tail, I think at level 23, I think, last time I checked, or at least sometime kind of early. So that's really powerful. I might just say, like, bring it to Flannery, but not really use it until Flannery gets really tough to deal with. I don't know. Then there's Shiftry. The pun here with the name is not great, but it's the best I could come up with. I figured I'd include another female channel, another woman channel, because you know the Poopy Show is one channel I like to watch. She's very funny. She does little cartoons, you know, kind of like a Jaden Animations, but more crude, I guess. But you know, she does these like videos about history, about science, so that's worth watching. Very informative in a funny way. You know, she has these, you know, funny characters moving around. So yeah, and she has dark humor, so that fits a dark type, you know, and it's good to have one early on. Then we have Walrein, which I'm gonna name Spilling Ice, because spilling the ice is even worse than spilling the milk, because you gotta pick up the ice, and then it slips out of your hand, it slides somewhere else, and then you gotta wipe off even more space on the floor. Oh, it's terrible. So Spilling the Milk is a channel, another reaction channel. They react over, do commentaries over cartoons mostly, movies and such. They're really funny. I think these days there's only 2 of them doing it, and one is like developing a game, I guess. But they're always a fun time. And then Clint Stevens, not one who uploads much, but I couldn't really figure out another channel that I really like watching, like as soon as I find it uploading. Clint Stevens uploads like every now and then, like if there's a new game, I guess, like Pokopia, for example. He did like a highlight reel of his like live stream of that game. And I'm naming the Righteous Steel Flint Stevens. Flint, being a rock connected to steel, iron, and Stevens. I mean, there's Steven, the champion. So that's that whole thing. And I added this quote from Batman. I don't remember which series it is. It's one of those animated series, maybe like 2 years ago or something. But he said he holds up like a shotgun in front of like a bunch of gangsters, like in front of a bunch of thugs, and he breaks the thing in half. And he says, "These are the weapons of cowards. We will not use them," something like that. So yeah, that's the idea behind no stat boosting moves. I hope you enjoy that whatever I show of that playthrough. And I hope you have a good upcoming month, in which I'll be getting onto my Switch 2 on for Mario Kart World. So stay tuned. Oh, and yeah, and Pokemon Omega Ruby, I would plan to probably get into on not May, but June probably. Yeah, June. And if I commit to it, other months alongside Donkey Kong Bonanza. All right, so enjoy.